Do you remember that famous dinner scene from American History X?
You want to talk about criminal statistics, you might want to take a look at the social inequalities that produce them.
Yap, you know.
This is from The Hate Next Door by Matson Browning, a detective who went undercover to gather intel from white supremacy groups for 20 years. Thus, crimes by white supremacists often go unreported. Undocumented persons fear deportation if they involve the police in any matter, let alone a crime. Additionally, a lot of times beat cops don't investigate to see if a crime stems from hate or bias, so it's not logged as such. Because of these issues, it's harder to see an upward trend of white supremacist violence. This is why it's so important to educate our cops. They have to know what they're actually looking at so we can get properly documented reports and thus the arrests and convictions we desperately need. Something we should consider when it comes to data and statistics is that we rarely ever know the full story. And we'll never know the full story if we approach data with a predetermined agenda and don't consider actual correlations or a lack of correlations or the unavailability of counterpoints because events aren't being reported and therefore aren't being analyzed. I know it's just a movie, but American History X slips in dozens of pieces of anecdotal data to argue various racially charged points to characters who are written in a way to represent a population that is uneducated and susceptible to emotional manipulation. Machiavelli said something about this. And I think the scenes were meant to show what was happening at the time with some smart, leader-like white guy amping up his audience. But 30 years later, we see that same strategy being played out over and over, just maybe a bit more subtly or more intelligently across all these alt-right pipeline podcasts.